Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I am so thrilled today that we have Marcia Grace, modern meditation mentor, with us here to bring us an incredible message about who we're not listening to that's hijacking your success, your business, and personal accomplishments. So, welcome, Marcia Grace.
Hi. Good to
Really
be here.
glad you're here. And I
Hi.
want to tell you just a bit about her. She is an interfaith minister, the author of a wonderful book, Calm, Creative, Joyful Lessons in Transforming Your Life, and a frequent speaker. Thanks for, oh, it's so pretty. A frequent speaker on metaphysical themes. Marcia Grace has spent decades nurturing people on their spiritual journeys by teaching the principles of A Course in Miracles, a metaphysical discipline that changed her life and has changed the lives of many of her students. It helps you, Course in Miracles helps you find calm in the midst of chaos, right, Marcia
Yeah,
Grace?
yes, exactly. Yep.
And there are so many more things I can tell you about her, but in 2012, she started working with entrepreneurs and business owners who are feeling exasperated and frustrated. And she created a special program for them called Awakening with Spirit Morning Pause. So I'll let you tell us more about that.
Sure.
Um, Marcia Grace, in her spare time, loves chopping, peeling, and slicing vegetables as a meditative practice, and also
Yeah.
journaling before going to sleep, which is great as well. And her feline companion, Claudia, which is Clawdia, Claudia.
I've got the scratch to prove it too. You see my scratch
Oh
there? She
my,
gave me
oh, she got you good.
she got me good, the
Claudia.
lady.
Claudia always lets Marcia Grace know when it's time for lights out. So, welcome, Marcia Grace.
Hello,
Oh, good.
hello. I'm so happy to be here with you, Dr. Barnsley, because you are so delightful to talk to. I mean, and we share so many things. As we've spoken previously, we found out how much we have in common. So I am just delighted to be here, and hopefully, I can be of some assistance today. Or if not that, I can make a complete fool of myself. Whichever happens is fine. So let's do it. What can I tell you?
Well, I try to make a fool of myself. I try to make a fool of myself regularly, Marcia Grace. So, we need to just not take ourselves too
Lighten
seriously
up,
sometimes. Hey,
lighten
I have
up.
to tell you something. Yeah. I want to tell you something funny. You're not going to even believe this in terms of the parallels between you and me, even the names of our pets. Because years ago, I went to the pound and I found a black cat who was missing one claw, and I called him Claudio.
Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, that's
He was a boy.
amazing.
Is that crazy or what? But I spelled it Claud. All right.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyway, but still, the reason I gave him that name is because he was missing a claw. He
Oh.
was not a really gorgeous cat, but he was a little healer kitty. And
Mm.
whenever I was coaching people, he would come and sit on them. He would bow to them and butt heads with them like a little Buddhist monk when they would come in the door, all of this. So, anyway, I love that we're both animal lovers. So, let's get
Absolutely.
to our topic because,
Yes.
I was thrilled about what you're going to share with us because most people are incredibly stressed like now. The American Psychological Association did the study, and it was like 2/3 of Americans called
Yes.
themselves being in a state of extreme stress.
And
Ex-
the children are stressed. It just breaks my heart. I mean, what they've gone through with losing at least a whole year of school, really, when you come right down to it. Most kids,
yes.
and they're still having trouble readjusting. I was just listening to a program about that this morning, about how the kids are having so much trouble. I mean, they just get up and they walk out of a room. Yeah, they're like they don't know how to be part of a classroom anymore. It's like
Right.
terrible.
They're
Yeah.
desocialized. They're back a couple of years in terms of socialization. And I think all of us, I mean, I was just thinking the other day, I was like, how did I get to this age? And we all lost about 2.5 years that
Yeah,
are sort of a time warp.
it's true.
So yeah. So let's talk about, with success, I know you have an unusual definition of success, a different kind of definition of success. So why don't you share that first? What does it mean to be really truly successful?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think, when you ask people that mostly, in fact, I came across a really cute cartoon and it shows this guy gets up to the top of the mountain where the wise man is. And he says, "Oh, wise man, can you tell me the secret to success?" And the wise man smiles and pulls out a key and he says, "Yeah, the key to, did I say that I always mess up my lines.
Yeah.
He said, the key to success. And he pulls out this key and he says, "Here's the key to the king's vault." So, so it's like we all assume that success means money, right? It means,
Mm,
things, having a lot of stuff. And I'm not suggesting that's not nice to have, but it certainly is only a piece of what real success is. Because real success is, for me, when what you think, what you say, and what you do are all in alignment. Now, that's a
mm,
journey. No one's there. I don't know anybody who's there completely. I certainly am not, but that's my goal, is to get to that place where my thoughts match my actions and my words. And
right.
that takes something important. That takes being healthy, happy, and having good relationships. So you need to have those three parts, which I equate with the body, mind, and spirit. Okay, we have to nurture all three of those elements of ourselves. Every one of us has a body, a mind, and spirit within us. So if
Yes.
we need to nurture all three, and I think that's what you and I are here to do, is that spiritual part, because I mean, and the other things too, but because the spiritual part is the part that, for us as entrepreneurs and business people, have kind of let go, have not given as much attention to, perhaps.
Exactly. And now
Yeah.
I'm very happy that people are opening up to the fact that having a spiritually led business is
Yes.
profitable and it
Exactly.
creates joy. It creates joy. So I want to pause for a second and just reiterate something that you said, Marcia Grace, that I think is very profound. And that is that we have to be in alignment, that we want to have what we think, what we say, and what we do be in alignment, and that is the secret to success. And I really believe that, because so often you've got two parts of that. People will think certain things and they'll say them, but then they don't follow through,
Right.
you know and it's
Exactly.
very important that we have that trinity, if you will, of our thoughts and what we say, what we're going to do, and what we actually do lining up, because it creates integrity, right?
And it reduces guilt and suffering, because you're not holding on to anything. There's no need to, because you're all in alignment.
I
You're
love
not.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of my
So,
favorite books is Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four
four
Agreements.
agreements. Yeah.
Such a
Love that.
great book. And they
Love it.
have the
Love
Four
it.
Agreements at work too, but I actually like the original one. And it
Hmm.
really works in business and life. But what you're talking about really is that we keep our agreements. It's one of the points he makes, that we need to keep our agreements, not just how does he word it? We are, what does he say exactly? Our word is law. My word is law. So, in other words, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to follow through with it. And that creates happiness and it creates success. And like you say, we don't have to forgive ourselves. We don't need to feel guilty. And we're going to get ahead that way. We are.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you, and mostly to yourself. In other words, you're being honest with true to yourself first, and that's the most important thing. That's what alleviates the guilt. That's what alleviates the need to, make excuses, or
Yeah.
do all the things that we do when we're not true to our word. So yeah, it's for ourselves first, and of course everyone benefits when we're able to, have all those things lined up.
And you're making me think about something, and that is, a lot of people I think are lost in many ways, Marcia Grace, not really knowing what they really want. We don't get asked that question, what do you really want in your life? You
Mm,
know?
yeah.
And so oftentimes we follow scripts that are not our own. They're the parent's script.
Mhm.
Or
All
they're
the
the
time.
society script, right? Here's what you should do as a woman in business, or here's what you should do if you're an insurance professional, or whatever. Or, we all have doctors in our family, so you're going to be a doctor, kiddo. We have so many scripts
Yeah.
around us. So I want to ask you, what do you recommend for people to really delve deep within themselves and know themselves?
Well, that's the whole, purpose of, everything that I do.
Yeah.
I teach classes in metaphysics, and I teach this. I work with one-on-one with business owners, entrepreneurs, writers, creatives, generally speaking, to help them develop a relationship with their inner guide. That's the answer. I mean, that's the final analysis of everything that I do because A Course in Miracles, which is my chosen path, uh, its whole purpose is to get us to do just that because that's where our answers come that are true for us. You can ask a million people, should I do this or should I go here or go to do there, whatever, and everybody will have an opinion. So which
Hmm.
one do you listen to? That's why it's too that is you're letting yourself in for a complete chaos if you live your life that way. You have to learn how to trust your own inner guidance. Every one of us has it. We were made and created by a loving creator. I totally believe this. And that loving creator wants us to be
Hmm.
happy and joyful and peaceful and successful and have everything we could possibly want. And so, but we're not going to know how to do that if we don't trust that guidance, because that's where God is talking to us
Right.
in
And
within us, not out, that
exactly.
right.
Now, we may get confirmation from the outside world, right? We can get
Of course.
confirmation. We can be thinking about something. I was thinking about going to France, and then suddenly on my email, there was a seminar in France. And so I signed up. There's confirmation that can come, but we spend very little time, especially business people,
Mm,
accessing that, as you call it, that inner guide. And
yeah,
sometimes I call it the wise woman or the wise man. And it really is like an inner CEO, right? It's an
absolutely.
inner
Yeah.
CEO.
Yeah. Exactly, exactly. Um, it's there's a lot of things you can call it, and that's important too. I think we all need to find a name. I mean, throughout the years, we talk about having intuition or a gut feeling, or I don't know what some other verbalisms for it, but that idea that you're
Deja
hearing
vu,
something.
or yeah.
Yeah, it's coming from within your own little sphere. You're getting that message, whether it's and people do actually hear voices, although that's not
Mhm.
me. I don't hear voices, but you get an inclination, you get a prompting, you get something that says, "I know I never do anything until I get a clear do this, not don't do that, but do this. Then I know I'm on the right track." And each one of us will find our own way to describe that, and to so that we can feel comfortable with it. It's like people will tell me, my angels talk to me, and my angels, do have talked to me in the past. I haven't spoken to them lately, but they, they have spoken to me in the
They're
past.
on
Um,
vacation.
yeah, they're on vacation, right? But well, I don't need them now. Things come when you need it. When you need it,
Right.
it comes. And again, that's about trust. In A Course in Miracles, there's a section in the manual for teachers, and it's a whole section called the development of trust, because that
Mhm.
is so important. And there are 9 categories of developing trust. And
Mm.
I love to teach that particular section of the course because um, it's mind blowing. It really is. When you understand how important it is to develop your spiritual trust in that inner voice, your whole life changes. It's just remarkable.
I love
So
this.
yeah.
And I love that you are bringing this to entrepreneurs and business owners,
Hmm.
because so often people just make logical decisions in business, but there is higher wisdom out there, and whatever you may choose to call it, source, God, Allah, whatever your name, or maybe just energy, whatever
Mhm,
you choose to call it, it's there. And
mhm.
we give ourselves a competitive advantage, really. What have you seen? I want to ask you, what are some of the results that your clients and business have seen in their businesses when they've worked with you to develop their inner guidance system? What results have they seen?
Oh, the first story that comes to mind is, this gal was a, owner of a salon,
Mhm.
and she had a very nice little business going, and then a new salon opened up down the road, like a block or
Mm,
2 away, and of course, everybody wanted to try out the new salon, so,
right.
so she says, "Oh, okay, it'll blow over, they'll come back, they're just testing the new waters or whatever." They didn't come back, and she started to get depressed. She was very
Mm,
depressed. She was very upset, and she started to, do things that were not her normal way of being. She lost her temper, and somebody quit on her, and and it became really, really messy there for a couple of months. And so and that's when she came to me, and told me this whole story. And I said, okay, I started her, learning how to get still and go through the process and learn to listen to that inner wisdom. And what happened was, to make a long story short, what she got one day was, I'm going to offer a gift to my old clients and offer them, I forget now what it was that she offered, but she sent out little notes or whatever,
mhm,
and offered them this gift. And she said, and guess what? She repainted the salon. She made it a different color, whatever. She just,
mhm,
she says, I'm fixing it up for you. She really got centered on her clients and let them know that she
mm,
loved them and wanted them back, and they came back and
mm.
brought in new clients. So it was a happy story, uh, and she really was so thrilled that she says, I was just doing my thing. I wasn't, I was being still and just open, and I just clearly got this idea. And I said, I know that came from my higher self. And so she was, that was just one good story. One
And
good
I
story.
love that. And I love that you, as you were talking about her, you said you less. So I know that you have a system for this and to lead people to their inner guidance, to help them access their inner guidance. This isn't just something where you sit down and you access it. You assist them in a process to do that.
Right.
And so there really is nothing, it's very concrete because you're leading them through it, and then they're accessing information that allows them to really boost their profits, in that case, bring their clients back. And it also sounds like she was in a lot of chaos, and so was her spa. So you're giving them something that's going to help them create an energy of abundance, really,
Right.
in their
Right.
in their life and their business. And I think this is so powerful. Tony Robbins says our business can only grow as much as we grow. And
Right.
it's that
Exactly.
moment that we stop growing that then we see our business, begin to constrict. And, we've really got two energies. We've got the energy of expansion and we've got the energy of constriction. And you really connect people with that energy of expansion.
Well, that's what I'm certainly here to do, because we have to allow ourselves to be open. And it's like if you're imagine a vessel of water, right? And if the
Mhm,
vessel is full, nothing can get in there. It's just static, right? It doesn't Nothing changes. So we have to metaphorically empty out that vessel, which is our mind, our
mm,
thoughts, clean it out, just and
mm,
make ready for the new. Make ready for the creativity that we all have. Everybody has it.
mhm,
We just don't make room for it. We don't give time to it. And
mm.
so it's sitting there waiting. It's waiting. It's like the fingers on the doorbell, but it's holding them back from
Nobody's home. Ding dong. Well, the ding dong's home, right? Because we aren't accessing our creativity. Yeah, I love that. Like that you're there, and the creativity's like, I'm ringing the doorbell. Where are you? Um, right. And stress affects so many areas of our lives, and we are so frenetic and hurried most of the time. This is one of the great things that I think has happened in COVID is that we were forced to
Yeah.
go inward, not only inside, but also inward within ourselves, way more than we ever had to access parts of ourselves. And people who didn't have a process for that, Marcia Grace, found themselves lost with
Oh my
tons
goodness,
of
panicking,
stress,
panicking. Yeah, no,
so much
it's scary.
stress.
Yes, really, truly. Yeah,
So why is
that's
it
it.
hard? Why
Mhm. Why is it hard?
is it so hard to get rid of this stress? Why do you think so many people, right? Why is it hard to get rid of stress? And why are so many people really struggling right now in their lives and their businesses? What do you see?
Well, it's a stress is a natural product of life here on planet Earth. I mean, things
Right.
change, and as soon as something changes, our ego goes, "Ee!" and it like goes crazy.
Right.
So, and as the course teaches, there's two parts of our mind. So we have our ego part, which is the part that's completely enveloped in the external world. What did they say? What did they do? Where should I go? What's happening next? And
Mhm.
oh my God, and all the chaos. That's our ego. And our ego doesn't love us. It makes us nuts. But then there's this other part of our mind where that guidance, where that inner guidance is, that's part of our true reality as spirit, because we are, as Teilhard de Chardin said, we are spiritual beings having a temporary human experience.
Mm,
So, so that's what's going on here. We have these two parts in conflict. Well, this the spirit part is not in conflict, but the ego is. And if we're listening to our ego, we're conflicted. So what we want to do is make that shift to the right mind, and that's what working on a meditation process truly will get us there. But getting back to your question about why there's so much stress is because we listen to this ego voice,
mm.
and it doesn't love us. It does not
It
love
comes
us.
from fear, right?
It comes
Fear.
exactly, comes from fear, and
Yeah.
it wants us to stay in a state of chaos so that we'll listen to it when it says, "Oh, you should do this and you should do that," or listen to, and it's chasing us all around, and we never get to sit and just say, "Wait a second, let me pull myself together and get my ducks in a row." And so that's the problem. That part of our mind does not want peace, because that would be the end of it. The ego
Yes.
is chaos. I mean, ego equals chaos. So if you
That's
get
powerful.
chaos,
So the
you get
ego
rid of the
equals
ego.
chaos. And I think of the ego too as the part that wants to it in a good way, it wants to protect us, but protecting us means keeping us stuck in a static place, which
Mhm.
is, as you point out, chaotic and probably rather miserable. The ego is like, yeah, don't go and take that trip to France. That's too, you need to stay here and work. It's trying to protect me at some point, but it's going to
Mhm.
prevent that exciting creative adventure that the
That's
higher
right.
mind, that the higher
Mhm.
self wants,
Right, and it comes from, as you said,
and
it
that is in
comes from
alignment,
fear.
really,
It
with
it
with
comes from the
with
fear.
my mission and vision. Right. Yes.
Yeah. So because it comes from the fear, it's telling us that we really shouldn't take a chance, or it's
Mm,
telling us maybe, you really do you really deserve that?
yeah.
Do you really think you did,
Mm.
everything you need to do to allow you to do that, take that trip to France? It'll do everything. It sounds protective, but it really is not our friend. And
It's
so
only protective in the sense of wanting to stay in control, right?
protecting itself. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, protecting itself, which means keeping us constricted and confined. So you've given us some ways that people can recognize that ego voice, when it's like, you shouldn't do that, or why didn't you? It's very judgmental. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Very judgmental sounding.
Oh
And
yeah.
then when they access working with you, when they access their higher mind, they're able to come from a place of calm and it sounds like deep knowing and security, confidence, which we
Mhm,
know is very attractive in business. It pulls people
mhm.
to us when we are in a state of grounded, calm confidence in what we offer. And so I would imagine that the people you work with also really emerge with this energy that just is magnetic. Is that
It really
correct?
is. It really is. It's because when you know what you need to do, you know, you get that guidance, that direction says do this, and you are firm. You know that that's the right thing to do. What's
Mm,
to stop you? I mean, you're gonna go ahead and get it done. You know, the
right.
energy is there, the drive is there, the intention is there, the purpose is there. There's nothing stopping you. It's no friction. It's just go, and it gets done. It gets done. Whereas from our
Mm.
ego, which has got all these doubts and fears and what ifs and da da da, you
And
know, and so
insecurity.
yeah, and so we get held up, we get held back, and then we have to fight against that. We know it's not what we want to do, but then you have that friction of fighting against that all those things that you know you really don't want. So that's why I say we're not our own best friends if we're listening to our ego. But the good news is w- we have the ability to change that. And that is
Mhm.
such great news. I mean, to me, that was like an explosion in my mind when I got that one day. It seems like a very simple thing to say, but when you really get it, when you really get that, you are in charge of your decisions, of your mind, of your mentality, of your state of being. Me,
Yes.
moi, said Miss Piggy, right? Moi.
Love Miss Piggy. Mwah! Mwah! Yes. We're the ones in charge, not somebody else. There's nobody else orchestrating all of
And
this,
and that's great. That's great because then you don't have to depend on anybody else. You know, it's not like I'm not a victim of the world. One of the lessons of the
Right.
course is I am not a victim of the world I see. Now, isn't that
Mm.
great to know? I am not a victim. I'm not. I can
Because there's
pretend I'm a
no
victim.
agency. There's no agency as a victim. There's no place of power there. You know, if you're a victim, there's nothing you can change. But in what you're talking about, that we are really victors. We're the ones who decide our state of being, and that
Mhm,
includes in business, right? Which is
mhm,
why I want to just bring this back to business really quickly. And I know we need to wrap in just a couple of minutes. Um, I know that in business, a lot of people went to gloom and doom when the pandemic hit, right? They went to,
mhm,
oh my God, what am I going to
mhm,
do? So
mhm.
forth. And, I train people in Reiki. And so suddenly I wasn't going to be training people in person, which I don't believe in Reiki over the internet. I'm going to say that again. I call that flaky, fakey Reiki. But, it was very clear that I wasn't going to be doing that, but I wasn't in a state of fear. I just sat and I meditated and I said, what is it I can offer that is really going to help people? And that's when I got, like you say, that clear answer. This
Mhm.
mastermind you've thought about for a decade, Barnsley, do it. Like it was so clear. The nudging was just, you know, obvious. And I did it. I started on a Tuesday, put it on Facebook, and overfilled it by Monday. Now, that happened because it was congruent, right? But it also
Mhm.
happened, I'm clear, because I accessed that part that you allow people to access in your work with them. I accessed that higher mind that was
Mhm.
coming completely from how can I give and how can I serve, not from what can I get? Oh my God, which is the ego effect.
That's right. That's right. Yes, exactly.
Like,
Exactly. When we
am
are
I going to be coming from the higher mind? Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about
Yeah. I love
again,
that.
when those 3 things align, when, and that alignment is taking
Say the
place
three things again. Say the three things again.
to think, what you say, and what you do are all aligned, all
Because some
aligned.
people might not have heard the beginning. Think what you think, say, and do when those are all aligned.
Right, and
That's
again,
where your
don't
place of
don't
power is.
right, but we wanna realize that that is a journey. In other words, many of us might not be there yet, and that's okay. You know, it's the intention. It's the intention to catch yourself when you're realizing, "Oh, I said I was gonna be at so and so place, or I said I was gonna meet or do this or whatever it is, and I didn't do it." So then again, that that's soul hurting to yourself, not for anybody else. It's for you. If I'm happy, what did they say about mothers? If mother is happy, everybody's happy, right? If mother isn't happy, the whole family suffers. So we're the mothers of our business, and it's up to
Mm,
us to take care of ourselves, to be as
mm,
healthy and happy and feeling as in control as
mhm.
possible.
I
And
love
that,
that. We are
yeah,
the mothers of our business. And you know, what does a good mom do? A good
mhm.
mom nurtures, but a good mom also kicks your butt sometimes, right, Marcia Grace?
Sure,
A good
yeah,
mom exercises tough love sometimes. And so those things that we say we're going to do in our business, you know, and this is where I love to help people because I provide the gentle butt kick, but I also give them accountability to themselves, right? Which you do as well.
have to
When
have
we
it.
give people accountability to themselves, then self-esteem rises, confidence rises, power rises, magnetism rises, and
Yeah,
we expand. And we really do become, I think you said this earlier, unstoppable. We become
mm,
unstoppable
yeah,
at that
yeah,
moment.
yeah.
Well, so I know, oh, what a rich discussion this has been, Marcia Grace. And everybody, I just want to encourage you to go and listen again because there are a lot of nuggets in here about business that are not the traditional wisdom, right?
And there's,
Because,
yeah, there's another really important thing I want to bring up just before we finish, if you don't mind. Do we have time?
go ahead. Yes, I've got
Okay.
plenty of time for you.
Okay. I've often been asked, what do I consider the number one secret to being successful, right? What is the number
Mm,
one secret? And people will say, oh, it's having a good accountant, or it's I don't know, it's what, saving money. I don't know,
getting
whatever
up
it,
early.
getting up ear yes, right, get up with the chickens and, whatever it is, but, those are all external, and I'm not suggesting that we don't need to do things like that. However, it all begins with moi, right? It all begins with me. So the secret, the secret is to forgive yourself for your mistakes. Do you know anybody who's never made a mistake? I sure don't. I make them all the time. So, but I am not going to wallow in them.
Right.
Right? I am not going to wallow. I am
You're
going to
not
forgive
going to
myself.
carry them around like a big albatross. You're not going to drag them
No,
behind you. You're not going to carry your
no,
cross. Gotcha.
no, no. We're going to drop those things, those babies, right off our back, and say, what did I learn from that experience? That's all I want to know. I just want to know what I
Mhm.
learned from that experience, and
And
then
what
I
can I
can.
do differently next time?
Yeah,
What can
exactly.
I do
So
differently next time?
yeah, that's the one thing I really want to make sure that I mention, because we can have all the right purpose and the thoughts about these things, but if we don't allow ourselves to forgive our mistakes, which we make many of, and let's
Yes.
all admit it, then we're defeating our own purpose. So keep that in
So
mind.
so powerful. And I just want to give everyone one of my favorite affirmations that comes from Dr. Catherine Ponder. I love her work on prosperity.
Hmm.
And she says, I forgive myself on, and you use your name, I, Barnsley, forgive myself on all levels for any harm, real or imagined, I may have caused others. And then I, Barnsley, forgive myself on all levels for any harm, real or imagined, I may have caused myself.
Right, right.
And I take it one step further, Marcia Grace, and I say, and I, Barnsley, forgive myself on all levels for any harm, real or imagined, I may have caused source. Think
Hmm.
about that. And it creates freedom when we take that ball that we've been dragging around, that big iron ball, and we shed that. It creates freedom so we can really do our passionate mission. So I'm very glad that you include that number one secret to success is forgiving ourselves and others too, right?
Well, yes, because once you allow yourself to forgive you, then you are going to recognize how good that feels.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're working the work, you're going to be working on your compassion, and you're going to realize that you want to make other people feel good too. So you're going to want to you want to put that into practice for them as well.
And that's really powerful to think about forgiveness as a strategy of success. And my mind goes to all sorts of things like, how would this play out in your business? And that's a good question to leave everyone with, to ask yourself, how would this play out in my business?
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe there's someone who you had to take action against because they hadn't paid you or something. And you took the action because it's business, right? We need to. And then let's also forgive that person. Let's forgive them, because they were coming from a place of insecurity. They were obviously coming from a place of lack of integrity if they signed a contract with you. And so let's
Mm-hmm.
forgive them. Let's have compassion. We still take the action, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
To collect what is owed, because it is business and you had an agreement. However, then we forgive them and we don't take it personally. I'm just thinking about that, for instance, but I think this in and of itself could be a really interesting presentation, by the way, Marcia-Grace, on forgiveness and how we can use it to be happier in business, for sure, but also to boost our profits in business, because it is a huge profit booster. And it's funny because in my books, I talk about lack of forgiveness as one of the biggest blocks to prosperity. So Marcia-Grace, there again, you and I and the way that we see the world is so very similar. Well, I know you have a special something for everybody that you're just giving them. So please tell us quickly, what are you giving us today? And I need my like Jeopardy music.
Here it comes. All right. And your gift is
that's the drum roll.
Oh, okay. That's my little ebook. It's called Quick Fix for Stress Relief. And it really is it's a quickie. You use this like when you're ready to explode, like when it's like, what do I do? You just learn this little process, and it really is a condensation, no, not condensation.
Condensation just works. It's a
No,
condensed version.
Condensing. it's
like Jello.
um, it really does take my processes and just bring them together really quickly for you to put into practice right away in the midst of some crazy thing going on in your life. And it's really, really quick, but it's easy and fast, and
I've read it.
It'll just shift you right out of that.
Absolutely. I've read it. And what I like about it is, even if you don't like to read, this is perfect because it's very short. And like you said, it's condensed. So somebody can read it, they can grab something off of it, and then they can use that immediately, implement it in life and business, because we all know that stress kills. There's a reason you are on the planet. Those of you who are watching this, you're still on the planet and you're here for a reason. And I like to say that you are the answer to someone's prayer. Not tomorrow, today. You are the answer to someone's prayer. And Marcia-Grace, you have been the answer to many people's prayers and will continue to be through this interview and the work that you do in the world. So how can people get that wonderful freebie about quick fixes for stress? Let me put your website in the chat. If you can't see it, can you see it? If not, I'll put it in here. It's Marcia-Grace. What is it?
Yeah, MarciaGrace.com/quick fix, all one word. And
all right,
will get
let me put that up and let me know that I got it right. Is that right? MarciaGrace.com/quick fix.
I'm not looking at it. I don't see it. So I don't know.
That's okay. It's showing up here though. It's MarciaGrace.com/quick fix. Yes.
Okay. Yep. That's it.
Your freebie. Woo! I'm putting that there. Grab it.
And for anyone who's interested in learning more about A Course in Miracles, I can give you the link I have the link here, but I don't know where to put it. Is there a place to put it on our studio here? I don't know.
I can put it in for you if you'll tell me, because you may not be able to put the comment in.
Yeah, it's a bit.ly link.
Okay.
There's a thing here that says comments. I don't know if I can. Oh yeah, I don't know, but I don't think I can add it. I can't add
All
it,
right, I
but
can put it bit.ly
uh,
/
okay, it is. Um, where is it?
Do you have it on your website? Just so we can,
I have it in my, let's see, right here.
okay.
It is. Oh, dear me. Sorry about that. I'm not finding it.
Okay,
Um,
so
I
here's
had
what
it.
we're gonna,
All right,
mhm,
here it is. Here it is. All right, it's
good.
https://bit.ly
Hang
slash
on, bit.ly /
414,
mhm,
capital M as in Mary,
mhm,
capital E as in excited, and
mhm.
capital X, and then 9, the number 9, MEX 9.
Right. So
414 MEX 9.
https://bit.ly / 414 MEX 9. Okay, perfect. I am putting that right up there. And that will take someone to information on your online classes
Mhm.
in mastery, miracle mastery, right? Through
Correct.
using A Course in Miracles. Wonderful. Excellent. And these are ongoing. So everybody be sure to grab that link as well. And I'm sure that you can also find it at MarciaGrace.com, her website. All right. And for everyone, I'm going to give you a freebie too, because we just like to give stuff away. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Silly music. And mine is right here. I'll put my website up there, and you can get my complimentary Fun-tabulous, I call it Fun-tabulous, ebook on how to overcome overwhelm in 7 easy steps, which is really meant for business owners who are just juggling everything. And you are our audience. We want you to be without stress. We want you to stay on the planet. Stress kills. We don't want you dead. That is an interesting ending for our broadcast. So, Marcia Grace, it
Not
has been
exactly
a
what I
joy to
had in
have
mind,
you
but
all. It has been a joy. We want you, let's say it a nice way. We want you above ground. We do. And then we can have angels. Oh, we
I
want you
want you
above ground.
putting on your wings and floating around like a little angel that you are, because we're all angels to our, our world, in our
Yes.
environments. So be that angel. Go out there and just sprinkle your fairy dust around, your angel dust, and make life beautiful for yourself and other people. So many
Mm,
blessings. Thank you so much for having me on.
beautiful.
It was
Great
great.
to
Good to
be
be
here
here.
with you. Thank you again, Marcia Grace.
Thank you. Take care,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone. Be an angel.